Okay, we're going to teach you a little bit about the unload side of the machine, the U machines. Okay, we've established our center to center measurement off the race car, 17 3/4, 604 pounds. Okay, we're going to make a spring change. We're going to take this air jack, we're going to pull the pin out. Okay, our next theory, a 1/2 inch wrench will undo this safety deal. This safety deal will slide back and forth to be able to let the ring slide in. As you can see, this is a gale force ring on the bottom that you use for dismount. You must have those rings to dismount with the U machine. There's no option, you got to have the ring. We're going to slide it into the ring fork. Okay, you can see it's machined out to fit that. No way it's going to jump out or slip. Safety shuts, put your bolt back in here. Lightly screw that bolt up snug. We don't usually tighten it with a wrench, okay? Now what we're going to do here is we're going to jack the jack up to it. We're going to put our deal in there, our pin. We're going to jack it up here. Now we're going to show you a couple of things while we're working this side of the machine, okay guys? One is this basically right here drops down to hold the hind. If we was going to change your bump stop, just a second here. On a Penske shock, it'll take 7/8 wrench. What we can do is we can bust the nut loose, okay? Screw the heim off right here in the machine. We can change our bump pack, push it up in and out of there. Change the bump pack just like you'd change a spring at the racetrack. If you got a different set of bump packs, you're ready to go and ready to try. Okay? Put the bump on. We'll demonstrate that a little bit more in the future here. Now I want to show the spring changing technique. We're going to take the tool, we're going to hold the hind. We're going to tighten that 7/8 back up. Okay? We're going to put that tool back up out of the way. We're going to let the shock and spring down. Okay? We're going to pull the pin. We have the assembly disassembled now without ever unthreading the coilover nut. Okay, we're going to look at the height of this spring. Okay, the height of that spring is a little bit different. So I'm going to go and just take about 4 rounds out of this to make up for that a little bit. Went from a 14-inch spring to a 16 is why I'm having the need to do that. That spring's a little bit softer here. Let's see what rate springs we have here. Okay, that one spring was a 160 and the other spring was a 150. We're going to put our 150 spring back on. Our different spring change. Having screwed the coilover nut a little bit, we're going to put the jack back on the up position. We're going to jack it up a little bit here. We're going to put our deal back in here. We're going to jack it up so we can get our retainer back in. See how much better this air jack is than a manual jack. Your pit crew loves the air jacks. So will you. Okay. We're going to slip the retaining ring back down in there. We're going to ease the shock back down into the retaining ring. Okay. We're going to pull the pin here. Sometimes you might just bump it back up just a little bit. Okay. We're going to pull the pin. We're going to undo our bolt. Okay. We're going to pull our shock and spring back out of the spring unloading machine. Okay, I'm just going to put this back in right here the way I don't lose it. Start it back on here, just run it up, the nut spins very freely. Okay. we're gonna move back to the center part of the machine to get our preload pressure back. Remember we talked about 17 3/4, 604 pounds, okay? We'll go back to the center of the machine here. We've changed our spring, it's a little bit taller spring, okay? We went from a 160 to a 150, but it was a 16 versus a 14, so we're gonna run it up here. We're gonna put it in the machine, okay? We're gonna run it up to our 17 3/4. Okay, we have 17 3/4 right there. I usually bump the spring to help it unwind a little bit, just look at it. Okay, our number was 604 at 17 3/4 was our preload number on our chassis height and everything when we set the car up. So now what I gotta do, jack to 17 3/4, which is right here. And I'm at 643, I didn't quite take enough off of it. The machine is marked on the top to how to unload and load. Unload's gonna turn this way. I'm gonna take my coilover wrench right here. Okay? I'm gonna let it bump against the machine. And I'm gonna unload till I get 604. Pretty easy. Went a little too much. No, right there, 605. Okay, maybe just a touch here. Bouncing back and forth between 604 and 605. Okay. Now, we got our preload height set back. Now we're going to rate that spring one time. Next steps, we're going to rate it. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to get out of your way the way you can see. Okay. There's this is our Pro Data unit here, of course. Okay. I'm going to push 0 distance. Okay. I'm going to push tear. Okay. And I'm going to jack it 1 inch to look at the spring rate. This particular spring right here doesn't have bearings on it because we want to just kind of let you see how slow it falls without a bearing. We're going to go 1 inch, which will basically be 16 3/4. Went over it just a tick there. Let me come back to it there. Okay, that spring rated 155. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to gross net, the way we keep up with our overall force number. 757, 756 at 1 inch of travel. I'm going to push tear. I'm going to jack it another inch and rate that spring. You can also put the jack handle in. I'm just being stubborn. Playing the lottery, see if I can hit it dead on the money with that air jack. Okay, that spring rated 149 in the 2nd inch of travel. We're going to push gross net back. 905 is our total pressure at 2 inches of travel.